I'm Fred Cunningham, and welcome to First Responder Friday on WSPA+. Every Friday on 7 News, we profile law enforcement officers, firefighters, EMS, 911 operators, and many other professionals in the Carolinas who respond in times of an emergency. Let's meet some of the people who have devoted their lives to service and run towards trouble when the rest of us are trying to get out of the way. By Chief Tony Watson. He is from the Pigeon Forge Fire Department, nearly 4 decades of service. First of all, thank you for being here. Tell me a little bit about your department.
Well, we're a very progressive all hazards department, about 75 members altogether. That's a combination department. I mean, we got around 50 full-time firefighters, about 15 volunteers, and about 10 part-time. So it takes a lot to keep that going. You know, we're pretty busy because there's about 21 million visitors come through our community a year. We think about, so we always just want to service our community the best way we can, you know, and so a lot of technical hazards that we take care of, taking care of all of our visitors.
You also have something that I know we want to show everybody because it's something I know you're excited about. Still a few months from pulling all the way in there, but tell us about your new fire station.
Well, our city council and the city management entered into a real aggressive program of redoing all City Hall complex, and part of that is a new fire department headquarters and a special operations building that will house the Severe County Ambulance Service Center. So we're really excited, state of the art. It's going to be able to help us serve our community into the future. So it's just a great feeling. It's a lot of work, but it's been a great experience.
Let me go back to one thing that you touched on just real quickly, the fact that this is an interesting department. You've got your normal town. You've got 21 million visitors. You have to deal with things in the mountains, and I'm sure you even have some lake situations.
We do. You know, we all work really close together in this Sevier County area right here to take care of those people. We work closely with Sevierville, Gatlinburg, and on all of our volunteer components of that. So it may be anything from a wildfire response to a technical rescue to just public assistance. So we're just there. We're that number that everyone wants to call or needs to call when there's something that they're not sure how to take care of. So that puts us in some very diverse situations.
Well, we appreciate everything that you do, everything your department does, and the surrounding agencies. Thanks so much for being here with us on First Responder Friday.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Chief Tony Watson from the Pigeon Forge Fire Department. We're back for our zip trip here, live here in Westminster on this Friday morning. It is First Responder Friday, and we're doubling down on Fred's during this segment because we have the Police Chief Fred Miller here from the Westminster Police Department. First of all, thank you for being here. You're from Anderson originally, a father of 5. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You came here recently from the Greenville County Sheriff's Office. Tell me about the reasons for coming here and that transition for you.
Well, like I was with Greenville County for over 20 years, and you know, this opportunity came available to actually come work for a smaller town, and you know, I love the small town atmosphere, so I decided to make the transition.
And it's great to have you here. What is kind of some of the things that you're trying to do with your department during this transition phase? What do you want to see the future of Westminster Police?
We like to grow the department, more officers, put more officers on the street, make things safer, more of the community patrol atmosphere. As you can see, this is why we have our...
I want to ask you about this because you were saying that 95% of the time that you're driving someplace as chief, you're in this. Tell me about this vehicle.
Well, this is the Chief Pimp Mobile right here. So they already had the golf cart when I came here. I wanted to make sure that it's more public and friendly. So I added the wrap and the blue lights on it and put sirens, and I drive it throughout the day. I always go to the park so people can come and talk to me. That's one of the things why I feel like in a small town we need to get back to the small town atmosphere where they can be able to come and talk to the police chief or talk to the officers. So we utilize this throughout the day. They know from 8 to 5 or whatever that I'm going to be riding it. So, you know, people in the city, they see me downtown and we come and talk.
That is just so fantastic. You said you got lights, obviously. You have a siren. Ever pulled anybody over with one of these?
Well, yeah, I pulled assistant city administrator over.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Exactly. Good for you.
So, yeah, I pulled him over. He looked suspicious. So, yeah.
I don't blame you. I think you had probable cause in that case.
Oh, yeah. So. But no, it's just basically get out to the for the community to be able to see us and stuff. We'll use it for festivals and stuff like that.
Awesome.
So.
Chief Fred Miller with the Westminster Police Department. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for everything you and your department do.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and send it over to Malachi. An engine company and a ladder truck on their way to a fire, but this one is under control in a way. It's burning at the Spartanburg County Emergency Services Academy.
From the newest guy to the most senior guy, your training continues throughout your entire career. We all have requirements, depending on your position and your title or your job function, of what training you have to continue, but it is a career-long endeavor.
They can do rope rescue practice or getting someone out of a burning vehicle. As for today,
We're going to run a single-story residential structure fire scenario. You're going to see a search and rescue operation, a fire suppression operation. You'll see some ladders thrown, everything that we would do on a rudimentary structure fire response. Right now, we're just letting the building kind of get pre-lit, get the temperature up in the building so it's actually what it would be when we arrive to a true fire. You're going to see the crew split here that's getting off the engine. The driver's going to start working on that water supply, hooking into that hydrant. The firefighters are going to start pulling off hand tools and hose. They just get their line laid out so when they get ready to make a push into the building, it goes appropriately. So when they come in to search, they always try to find the fire first. They're going to find that room that's involved. They're going to search that room area. We search from the most involved room outward. So here you see search crews located a victim. Interior crew is suppressing the fire. They're going to cool from the doorway once they locate the fire room or the involved compartment. Then they're going to push in and fully suppress the fire. We can make it pretty realistic. It's obviously a controlled environment for safety, but we try to make it as realistic as possible.
And kind of hop and pull it up your back.
how realistic? Duncan firefighters let me suit up to find out.
There you go, get it. There you go.
I'm the rookie wearing the red helmet. They took me through 2 rooms burning with pep rally-worthy bonfires before getting out the back door, but I'm not done.
I'm gonna what? Yeah, you're gonna fight the fire.
So it's back inside with a hose and a couple of guides to show me where to spray before I get out for good. You can't even begin to think about it's the heat, it's the lack of visibility. You're in tight quarters. It's pitch black. If it wasn't pitch black, it's all the smoke. I mean, what a rush. Unbelievable. Whew. Thanks to the Town of Duncan Fire Department, and that is First Responder Friday. As you can see, these stories are just a way for us to say thank you to the men and women who are our local first responders. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, more of the people and stories that make up First Responder Friday. Welcome back to 7 News First Responder Friday right here on WSPA+. We'll continue now with the stories of our brave local first responders and how they serve our communities. Take a look. Back will fall for Greenville, this special zip trip. It's also First Responder Friday. We're joined by Kevin Crosby and Autumn Mellon this morning. They are members of the Greenville Fire Department's opioid response team. This is a new program that has been started within just the last couple of months. And tell me a little bit about why this is such a necessary thing to have.
Right, so we obviously identified the fact that we had some funding available. So the thought was to create an opioid response team, with the funding. So we looked at kind of what our problems were here in the city, how big of an issue it was, and decided it was going to be a good thing to initiate. So they're obviously going to be working in the field, trying to help those, I guess, during the emergency phase of it, but then a lot of it's going to be follow-up and education to make sure they're kind of directed toward appropriate resources. So.
Yeah. The Greenville County Coroner said as of earlier this week there have been 112 opioid or fentanyl related deaths. That's countywide, of course, and 98% of them are fentanyl. What do you see when you're out in the field?
We see a mix of everything, honestly. And so right now, basically, as Chief Crosby was saying, we're just trying to get out there and educate people first and prevent as much as we can. We were approved to be a community distributor of Narcan, and so that's a life-saving drug that we can use that helps with fentanyl and kind of reverses some of these effects. When those chemicals get into the brain and then they take over your respiratory drive, that slows down, and so this is a drug that can reverse that. So we were approved as the fire department to have a community distributor program so that we can start handing out some Narcan to these individuals.
That's terrific. I've got just a few seconds left. She mentioned about the follow-up. That seems extremely important.
Yes. So obviously, making sure that after their initial incident that they're still doing well, and we're trying to encourage and meet them where they're at to get them resources that they're willing to accept.
That's terrific. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you for being with us this morning for our First Responder Friday segment.
Thank you.
This is the Rumbling Bald Resort on Lake Lure. It's gorgeous here. But in the spring of 1981, the resort manager came to his security director with a thought.
And he said, I think this community is growing now. We need a fire department over here. What do you think? And I said, probably be a good idea. And he said, well, I'm glad you agree. So he hands me a check for $2,000 and says, go ahead and start the fire department. I said, whoa, wait a minute.
Wilson was up to the job. This was the first roster of the Fairfield Mountains Volunteer Fire Department more than 4 decades ago. Starting the department was one thing. Keeping it going was another.
We had an active ladies auxiliary that went out and done a bunch of fundraisers. We done everything you can think of: yard sales, golf tournaments, fishing tournaments, hot dog sales, barbecues, you name it, to supplement what we were getting from the town.
Wilson stayed on the job for 40 years, retiring in 2021.
Any different? You remember it?
I remember that one.
He handed it off to Chief Matthew English, his grandson.
I mean, it's kind of the family business, rounded as a kid, riding in fire trucks as young as I could remember.
The Fairfield Mountains Fire Department has lowered its ISO rating from 9 to 4 in a little more than a decade and remains all volunteer.
We average 10 people on a call, which is huge. And to pay that for a paid fire department would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars for the expense it has to retain paid staff. And with the equipment we have, we provide multi-million-dollar service for pennies on the dollar.
But times have changed.
Back in the day, I mean, it was real cowboy type stuff. It was, blue jeans and a turnout coat and go in and fight fire.
You got to evolve with the times. I mean, you can't stay in the 80s or the 90s and fight fire like we did then. You can't do it.
Houses burn entirely different. They're burning quicker. There's more carcinogens in fires.
It's really more dangerous now in ways than it was 30, 40 years ago, because back then you just didn't go in because you didn't have the gear to go in with that would protect you. Now you do. I'm old school, he's new age.
That's 40 years of one department with 2 chiefs from the same family. And that's First Responder Friday. Our zip trip continuing here in Abbeville. It's also First Responder Friday, and we're joined by the Abbeville Police Department during this half hour. We've got the Police Chief Nick Moore and Sergeant Tony Gregg. First of all, thanks for waking up early with us. You are a native here, born and raised. What's it like being a police chief in your hometown?
Well, sometimes it's a challenging job. It's a job that I thoroughly enjoy. It's a job that I really love to be active with the officers. I'm not the type of chief that wants to sit at a desk all day. I want to get out here with the guys, help them do what they do on a daily basis.
That's terrific. And one of the things that I know right now is, of course, you're trying to protect everybody in town. You're also homes, mainly children, mainly with their devices, their phones. As when it comes to internet crimes against children, that's something that you're really involved with and making a big effort on.
That's correct. I just recently joined the South Carolina Attorney General's Office Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force earlier this year. And it's a task force of officers from many different jurisdictions all over the state. And our focus is really just getting the information out there for children and doing a lot of different school, different performances and different things like that so that we can get information out there to kids about internet safety. Make sure you parents looking at the devices all the time, making sure your friends are who they really say they are, making sure your kids aren't just talking to random people on the internet, along with a lot of different proactive and different reactive things to really focus on making sure that our kids stay safe.
That is a tremendous effort. We're glad that you're a part of that, and at the same time I know that out on the streets of Abbeville, you have so many visitors that come here as well.
Yes, we do. We have visitors come through here on a daily basis. The weekends they come tour the square, walk around the Opera House, look at all the old buildings, the brick streets. beautiful little town.
It certainly is. Chief Moore, we're glad you were with us. Sergeant Gregg, thank you. Thank you for everything you guys do on a daily basis for your town.
Absolutely.
Yes,
we appreciate the support.
Thank you. That's First Responder Friday. We're going to take a short break from our stories of these amazing heroes. Stick around for more First Responder Friday right here on WSPA Plus. It's a privilege and an honor to get the opportunity to bring you these stories of our local heroes, those who choose to put their lives on the line or simply choose to be there for us when we need them most. Here are some more stories from our First Responder Fridays. Zip Trip to Gaffney continues. It's also First Responder Friday. We are joined by the Assistant Chief of the Gaffney Police Department, Jerry Smith. First of all, thanks for waking up to be with us so early this morning.
Yes, sir. Not a problem.
You are a Gaffney native, or pretty much went to high school here. You've been here for a long time, obviously. And of course, the Peach Festival is here.
Yes.
I know a lot of people are going to be here over the next week or 10 days. What are some of the things you'd like for them to keep in mind when they come to have a good time here?
Just be wary, take your time when you're coming into town because there are going to be a lot of people here. Again, we just started last night with the kickoff party. It was downtown, but everything pretty much is going to be held at Jolly Park next to the admin building. So that next Saturday morning, we'll have the parade. It'll start at 10. Once that parade's over, everybody's going to kind of funnel down to the admin building in Jolly Park. The parking, that's what we want to really get into. Once we get the parade and everybody dispersed off the parade down there and they get into Jolly Park, which happens pretty quick, we've got some extra parking right on the other side of the admin building. There's some out on Railroad Avenue, and then we have Wall Street and Robinson Street. So just be wary when you're there because there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of pedestrians.
Good. Also want to talk very quickly, if we can, about an event you got coming up next month. You got National Night Out coming for Gaffney.
Yes, sir. August 6th. It'll be 6 to 9, same place, Jolly Park. Have a lot of our officers out there and a lot of I think they're going to have some music and things for the kids and vendors. So
great connection for you to be able to build that rapport with your community.
Yes,
obviously.
sir. Yes, sir.
That is tremendous. Assistant Chief Smith, thank you for being here. Not only that, but also thank you for your service as a former member of the United States Navy.
Yes, sir. No problem. Thank you.
All right, great to have you here on our First Responder Friday. Our Zip Trip to Clinton continues. It's First Responder Friday. Got a couple of guests with us. First of all, we've got Danya Langston. She's the fire marshal for the city of Clinton. Of course, the Chief Jeremy Marshall is here as well. Let me talk to you first of all about the Fire Safe program. I know that's something that you really push, and just tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, sir. What that is, it's a program that is offered through the state, State Fire. And what we do is we get out and we try to push 4 core messages on fire drill and prep, putting the right alarm in the right location, fire sprinklers save lives, and if you see a problem, take action. And what we do at the department here in Clinton, we offer free smoke alarms to the community. All they need to do is just call us at the department, and we can either go out and install the smoke alarms for them and carbon monoxide detectors, or they can come by and pick them up. We just have a form for them to fill out. That way we can submit that form to the state so that we can continue to get our smoke alarms for free. They offer it to us for free through Fire Safe and through the American Red Cross. But we want to try to get into homes within the city through Fire Safe, just to be able to talk about safety, make sure their home is safe, see if there's anything that we can do to educate them on things that they can do to be more safe around the home. But we also try to get out and get into the community through civic groups to push these messages on safety, fire safety.
That's terrific. At the same time, Chief, I know you've got something special coming up next month. We've got a fire truck we want to show, and that's got very, very special designation with that number.
Yeah, unfortunately, back on Easter, we experienced one of the worst tragedies a fire department can. We lost a member in a vehicle accident. To commemorate him, we actually named the truck Engine 88, which was his call number for the station was 1288. So we officially retired that number and named the truck after him. And on the 16th of July, we're going to have a dedication to him, which is actually the first time I've said that to anybody. So that hasn't been advertised yet until now. But yeah, we want to have something from Mike Benson to last. You know, he's going to be, you know, he's always going to be here, but when the truck rolls out, Mike Vincent's going with us.
Absolutely. Truck 88, that's going to be something to see. And of course, a new fire station coming in the coming months or within the next year or so. Chief Marshal, Fire Marshal Langston, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Thank you for everything you do for your community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Our zip trip rolls on here from Ware Shoals. It's also First Responder Friday. We're joined by Brian Lewis. He's the police chief here in Ware Shoals. First of all, thanks for waking up extremely early this morning.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about this town and tell me a little bit about how your department works and interacts with everyone.
It's a small town, roughly 1,600 people, 3 different counties. We're community-oriented, community policing-oriented. We like to get out and actually know people and not just stop for speeding, write tickets, warnings, and things like that. We actually get out as much as we can, visit businesses, and actually talk to people.
That's terrific. You have a really, really unique background. You're not from here.
No,
You're from upstate New York. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you wound up in Ware Shoals.
I left New York in 1992. I joined the Army. After that, I went overseas to Kuwait for 2 years. At that time, my parents moved down here from New York, down to Greenwood, down to Lake Greenwood. They passed away. I just decided to stay here, not going back to New York.
That's great.
Yeah.
And tell me about getting into the transition from the military. You were an MP and then getting into law enforcement here.
Yeah, when I came back in '99, I went to the academy. I got hired by Due West Police Department. Went to the academy for a special basic class. So I only had to do 2 weeks of legals there and a week of driving. Didn't have to stay like everybody else does for their 9 weeks. So I kind of got lucky on that there.
That military service certainly paid off there. And we thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you.
A little bit more about the community policing. I mean, do you have kind of like regular stops you make and just go in and you know the homeowners and some homeowners, but also business owners, that kind of thing?
Businesses, yeah. We usually have people stop in, or our officers as much as they can. But even people walking down the road, down at the park, they get out and make contact with them, just check on them. Not there to harass them, just make sure everything's good.
That's terrific. Yeah. Chief Brian Lewis with the Ware Shoals Police Department. Thanks for being with us on our First Responder Friday.
Thank you, sir.
Those are just some of the people who chose careers with one goal in mind: to help others. You can see new editions of First Responder Friday every week on 7 News in our morning and afternoon newscasts. You can also find all of our previous profiles in the First Responder Friday section of WSPA.com and the 7 News app. And join us here for more episodes of First Responder Friday on WSPA+. I'm Fred Cunningham, and we'll see you next time.